Yeah, it's the entire difference in the game. We gave the ball away 5 times. We only got it once. And, not unlike what happened with Bryant when they came in here, you cannot win a game like that. Cannot win a game like that. We've got to value the football more on the offensive side of the ball. And, one takeaway doesn't meet our standard, and so that's very disappointing.
You talked earlier in the week about the problems that defensive pressure, given your passing game. Fair to say that showed again today?
I really don't think they blitzed as much as they normally do. I mean, I felt like we made some bad decisions. The last INT is a cover 2, and you got to put that ball on the rope, 18-2, and you can't float it. Safety's going to have time to get over the top. Obviously the second to last one is a ball that I'm sure Johnny 900 times out of 1,000 is going to catch. They had one like that in the Bowling Green game that set up a short field for them. Tremendous amount of credit to University of North Dakota. I mean, this is who they are. They play a lot of very tough games. They're well coached, they're well disciplined, they're well conditioned, and they've come out on top a lot in the fourth quarter. And so I think that, mature team right there that was able to overcome some miscues and played their game and was able to execute and win the game at the end. And conversely, I think a young and growing team on our side that couldn't get out of our own way. Made too many errors, and it wasn't just the turnovers. I mean, there were some other things at critical times in the games that we can't get explosive play and then end up with a procedure penalty on it when we're trying to go fast and end up in 1st and 15. That just destroys any opportunity we have to get our tempo going. And there's going to be a lot of things to learn from here. And like I said, want to credit UND. They had 68 plays. We had 68 plays. They had 348 yards total offense. We had 375. We knew they were going to control the ball. 33-50 time of possession, our 26-10. The difference is the turnovers, period. Yeah, and that didn't even kind of bother me. I was kind of like, what the heck? I mean, if they're going to score, let's have them score now. We still had 3 timeouts. We had all kinds of time. And, hey, they'd lean on you that much. They ran the ball. Okay, let's look at total rushing attempts. I mean, one guy, 46 times. They threw a bunch of bodies at us. They average about 40 pounds a man more than us on the front. I can't say enough about how those guys battled up front on our D-line, continuing to give our offense the opportunity to play another down. And you could see it just was going to take one play. Kevin spins out of that hitch route, takes it down to the 3. We get it in. Hey, we don't get it. Then, Peppinger executes the onside kick. We got guys. We get the ball back. And that's who I think we are. I think we're gritty. I think we're scrappy. But we can't beat ourselves. We're not talented enough to overcome that. And, gosh dang it, man. That was a tough one. That's a really tough one.
What's the level of concern maybe on the offensive side of the ball right now?
We just can't beat ourselves. I mean, you guys are going to worry about that. I'm not worried about that. I know you guys will create plenty of controversy on that and try to divide us and all that. That's what you guys do. I get that. We're not going to allow that to ever seep into our locker room. My job is to be the head coach here and not listen to you guys. We take care of our locker room. Write whatever you want. We're a team first. You heard it right here. Always will be as long as I'm in charge of this program. There's never going to be any divide between the offense and defense.
Looked like a very serious knee injury the first.
I think he kind of hyperextended it, and it scared him. And we got him into the locker room and calmed him down a little bit, and he was ready to roll. And, did a tremendous job carrying the load for us in the second half. When we went into this game, I told our coordinators yesterday in our meeting, I said, if Chad rushes for 100 yards, we win this game. 18 carries, 100 yards. Didn't factor in the 5 turnovers.
Just this is the first time, you're comparing a similar opponent to last year. The difference in run defense and at the point of attack, specifically against Santiago, is so
it's a mindset.
Striking. Yeah.
It's just a mindset. We're going to play great defense around here always, because if they don't score, they can't win. And as much as we struggled on offense today, we had a chance to win this game because we played tremendously well on defense. If it goes the other way around, it usually doesn't work out.
Play of special teams as a whole today?
I thought it was tremendous. I thought we did a good job of controlling field position. We didn't make any critical errors. We were able to execute the onside kick. We had the Pearl Jam, the quick kick on 4th down. Tyler executed that really well. I think that was clutch because they did get a drive going. But, having to go 93 yards is going to be a challenge for anybody, especially with the style of offense they play. And so I thought we did a nice job. I haven't seen the numbers yet in terms of drive start average and those kind of things, but I thought we did a nice job. They kicked short to us. We kicked deep to them. I think we probably ended up with a better drive start after kickoffs. And, Even there was a low snap that Jared handled. You know, I mean, those guys are, you got to remember, we made some mistakes out there. Number 8, bad read, drops the ball, 17-year-old freshman. We got our true freshman punter, true freshman guy that made 2 field goals for us. That was, I thought, was a huge key to the game, that we didn't score touchdown, at least on one of those 2 drives in the first quarter. And we wasted those opportunities. And so, you know, hey, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to get better. We know we can't beat ourselves. I think we know who we can be with Chad in there. That gives us a little bit more of a consistency in the run game, and that's a positive for us. And, you know, I think we know we can play with anybody in this league. It's just about us not beating ourselves.
Kevin's role in the offense has sort of increased little by little, but obviously he made a couple plays today, and he was targeted 3 times in a row in the first half. What's allowed him to?
Well, sometimes it's the coverage look, obviously, and but you know, Kevin's been a dynamic player from the time he stepped on this campus, so that doesn't surprise me. We've actually tried to get him more involved somewhat in the offense. He's got a little different skill set, a little bit more juice, and so you know, that's something that we've got to be able to do is hit shots down the field. We missed one to Johnny, we missed the wheel route. You know, those are plays we've got to make, and you know, even the one to JP. It's a little bit behind him. He has to come back for the ball. You know, if that thing's out in front of him, he probably scores on that with his speed. And so we've got to be more consistent in being able to hit those shots. I'm going to tell you right now, I thought Courtney called a heck of a game. It wasn't calls. It was lack of execution. And so, I mean, I think that's something that we've got to tighten up and make sure that we don't put ourselves behind the sticks. I mean, you know, we got 2 procedure penalties, like I said, after explosive plays that put us in 1st and 15s. That's a really tough spot for our offense. We don't have a guy right now that can just blow the top off the defense. And so I thought he dialed up some stuff. I mean, we had some drops, some procedure penalties not lining up correctly. That's the stuff that'll drive you crazy. And so we're going to have those conversations as a staff and make sure that we're simplifying our game plan so it's not too much for some of these young kids so we can go execute and operate.
Specifically defensively, Josh Hill really had a nice game. We'll just see just his ability to help you guys run.
They just, the thing that I was so fired up about our defense was they just embraced what we asked them to do. We said we're only going to have 3 or 4 calls going into this game. This is all about you guys getting your eyes right, putting your hands on your key and playing ball. And those guys just did it down after down after down. And I couldn't be more proud of those guys. I think Josh is a guy that's emerged as a consistent performer for us. He and Fletcher Collins are both doing a really good job of getting guys on the ground. You know, Mac, guy's tough. I mean, that guy was not 100% in the second half, and they kind of tried to exploit that. He stepped right up and continued to play. And I talked about our defensive front and the job that they've done, and I think Bryce and McCabe and Kahari both had really good games today.
How much practice experience does Woody Brandon have on the defensive side?
About 2 days, which would be about 12 reps probably. But he played today, and he's going to have to play. That's who we are.
By 2 and Montana loses, I think, what, 42-41? What does that tell you about the conference?
There's a lot of parity in this league. I mean, I think the thing that I'm frustrated about is, you know, we got to hold court at home. You know, it's tough to win in this league on the road. And you got a close game with a good opponent at home, and you got an opportunity to get a W. You know, we're going to look back on this later in the year and probably be pretty frustrated about it, even more so than we are now. And we've got to go on the road this next week and play Sac State.
How impressed were you with Gabe in the kicking game, especially that kicking in the third quarters?
Yeah, I mean, money kicks, man. I mean, lined up and kicked 3 of them. He put them all through the pipes. And that's his job, and I'm proud of him and the way he responded. He didn't have, you know, he had a little bit of a groin coming off of last week. He didn't finish the game last week. And he did a great job responding to what we asked him to do and performing and taking care of his role. I think it's going to continue to matter about who has the best week of practice. I mean, it's like we were having the debate before. I'm like, well, I think he had the best week. Let's go. And so that's who it was.
Get down to the guys you knew were going to take the Sac State. You gave them more.
I think we're close. I mean, we cut our kind of our dress roster down to about 63 for this game, so we got to get 5 more guys before we get to our 58. And so, you know, I think that this has been kind of a little bit of a sequential process, and we're just about there.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.